month old is kind of, he says two words, happy baby, happy, happy baby.
Oh,
I know it's so cute, but uh, but yeah, it's real interesting. I've been having a great time. So
oh. Well, that's the
anyway,
important part.
exactly.
You're having a good time.
Good
Well, I'm
time.
happy for you. Happy
Yeah,
for you that you're out of your regular everyday thing and visiting with family and getting to know your grandbabies. That's good. That's
yeah.
all.
It's such a hoot. I'm loving it. So I'm just
Yeah.
yeah. So I have us up and running live on YouTube, and I have invited some people to come. I don't know if they will or not.
No,
Uh,
it's
I
okay.
have them, so I've kind of been, but because people are now interested in asking these questions about the, what about this and what about that,
Mhm.
with clairvoyance type things, and I'm like, hey, well, come on over and Zita will uh, hook you up. Uh,
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll
so how
figure it
about you been up to? What's going on with you? And hi, Jorge. Good to see you, friend.
out. Well, I was thinking about that last night, like when we check in and we say, "Hey, what we have we been up to?" And well, not much really. I mean, it's work and family and go to sleep and rinse and repeat. That's basically what we've been doing. Jorge's getting much better, of course, and but yeah, we did have a couple of deaths in the family now. Um, One was I think I mentioned her, and I dedicated that one to her, Marietta, our cousin. She was married to my cousin, but she's cousin of obviously, and very nice person. And then my daughter-in-law's mom, who passed away on the 1st. My cousin was September 17th, and um, my daughter-in-law's mom on October 1st. So yeah, that has been, we haven't done any what is it, celebrations of life. And I was planning on going to my cousin's in Portland, but it just so happens that my daughter-in-law's mom's celebration is on the 9th. So it's like one day apart, and I can't be in two places like that. So I'm gonna have to not go to my cousin's and be with my daughter-in-law and my son. I
Yeah,
think that would be the one that I have to be at.
that's so sad.
Yeah, yeah. They both had Marietta not so long that I'm aware of battling with cancer, but Denise, on the other hand, she did have three times in her lifetime that she had to deal with cancer. And I don't know if this was the third time or if it was the fourth time. I don't know. And they were just not able to control it or to um, make it go away. So she decided no more. I don't want any more treatment because it was
Um,
making her really, really sick, the one that she was getting.
yeah, my gosh, is death so bad?
Yeah,
And sometimes I think, life is hard,
yeah,
and death seems simple.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
come on, let's go home.
yeah,
But a lot of
yeah.
people don't get that. So
Right, right. It's not, I mean, I think the hardest part is for those that stay.
yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's the hardest part.
If you're left behind, that's and then you have to really look at, what is what's really the value here. I'm sure that they were all happy.
Yeah.
uh, that's the way I look at it. That's what I've told my whole family. Please do not be upset about anything. if I mean, sure, you'll miss me. Yeah, I'm a wonderful person, and I'm sure you like to be around me and all, but if you love me, don't let me suffer. Let me, don't try to coerce me into staying here
Yeah.
when, the quality of life is lost or not so good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's no reason to be here and suffer when you can be at home and enjoy.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Yeah. So,
that's,
but you know, we don't know until we cross and we see the difference.
yeah, and I was just thinking yesterday, how are we so sure of any of it?
Yeah.
Everybody has their stories about what happens,
Hmm.
and from the work that we've done, the studies that we've looked at, and the things that we've um, by reading and experiencing or knowing people that have had these experiences, I have a pretty good idea that there is something beyond this life, and it's um, not bad.
Right.
So, and even if I'm wrong, I still, so many people have had these experiences, and if you it's one thing if you were just all speculating things, but that people have had near death experiences
Right.
for not just since we've been around.
Right. Yeah.
People also have memories of past lives.
Right.
That's happened forever. Everyone's always had that since the beginning of humans living in the world.
Right.
So, um, you know, I have a pretty good idea that there is a foundation for, you know, something more than this life. But not having a experience of it my own, I can only speculate and go along with what everybody else is thinking. Anyway, it's you still don't go to a funeral and tell people, "Oh, I'm so happy for them." Although
Right.
I,
Inside you do.
yeah, and I'd be hoping everybody be happy for me. Like thank,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, not a bad thing. So anyway, Zita and I are here reading this book, The Clairs for Course Students, and have been sharing this with people as much as I can to get them involved in listening to this. And I can't remember where we are, but I know that you've got
Yeah, I have it. We're on page 20.
page 20. Oh yeah, so I love this.
Yeah, I was looking at that and I'm like, did we only stop there? So I started going through the book and I found actually my bookmark was out of place, but I know that what I've been doing these days is I write in read and the date that I read it. So
Oh,
the last page because I know that I love this bookmark. It's metal. It's a little light, very light, but it says love. And of course I love it. But the problem is that it slides around and I'm sure at some point somehow it got lost out. It went out of place somehow. I don't know. But it's okay. That's why I write it in, so it makes it easier.
yeah. Oh, and this is good too because, like I said, a lot of times I'll go back and look at the video and see where we left off
Oh
because
yeah.
there's no way to put a bookmark on. I don't think if there is a way to if it's a Kindle book, you can put a bookmark in there, but
Yeah.
this particular form, I don't think so. Anyway, it doesn't matter to me because,
Okay.
and we're on
It's all
Waterside.
good. It's all good.
Of
Yeah.
course,
I did
Bonjour.
wanted to say we were talking about how you can't go to a funeral and tell them, "Oh, I'm so happy for them," right? Obviously, you're not going to say that, but something that has happened to me going to funerals and not necessarily family funerals, just any funeral, because I've been to plenty. Um, and one thing that I've noticed is that I'm there, and then all of a sudden I get immersed into this. Oh my God, it's like this feeling of joy, like so happy inside. Like it's exhilarating for me. And it's almost addictive, like going to the next funeral. It's like, oh, I want to feel that again.
Oh my,
Um, yeah.
that like you're connecting to the person who's passed and
I
experiencing what they're experiencing. Is that possible?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's just I mean, and you know that the funerals don't happen like right after people die. In Mexico, it does.
Yeah.
You
It's,
die one day, the next day you're being buried. So, but here it takes a while, right? Um, so it's not like that portal is open. So I'm sure it has to do with the person. Maybe they are there, they are present for their funeral.
yeah.
They're around, and maybe that's what I'm picking up on. I don't know. But it's this really nice, beautiful, joyful feeling that I just can't explain. It's almost euphoria. I don't know. Uh,
That's
some of
cool.
them. Yeah. It doesn't happen to all of them though, which is very odd. And I get disappointed obviously because I'm like, oh, man, I didn't feel that. I didn't have that feeling. So yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
that is. What that
Me.
is about.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned that actually the other day in one of our groups
Oh,
uh, about a person watching, maybe they're watching their funeral and they're happy
yeah.
seeing, who came and whatever. And
Hmm.
I have no idea, honestly. I don't really even know what we really are. I know
Yeah.
body, we're not this mind,
Hmm.
but
Just
you know,
spirit.
your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's really beautiful. So,
It is.
yeah. Okay.
All right.
Should we continue?
Sure. Do you want to read?
Sure. I'll read. So, like we said, page 20. And we're reading from the clears for course students. And this is by Corinne Zuko. So it's a small little chapter, right? What are psychic abilities according to A Course in Miracles? The manual for teachers in A Course in Miracles contains a section entitled Are Psychic, and they're like quotes, psychic powers desirable, it reads. And then here's that paragraph from the course. I guess it's from the manual 25. Each individual has many abilities of which he is unaware. As his awareness increases, he may well develop abilities that seem quite startling to him. Yet nothing he can do can compare, even in the slightest, with the glorious surprise of remembering who he is. Let all his learning and all his efforts be directed toward this one great final surprise, and he will not be content to be delayed by the little ones that may come to him on the way. As this paragraph states, we clearly have abilities that we aren't aware of. And as we release blocks to our awareness of the truth, our abilities, quote unquote, may catch us by surprise. But as this section states, nothing can beat remembering the truth of who we are. Remembering the truth of who we are is our primary goal. Yet, in my experience as a student of A Course in Miracles, I've found that anything along the journey that shows me and teaches me that I do not walk alone is useful. So understanding the clairs as pathways of guidance has only strengthened my ability to trust in the Holy Spirit. Psychic abilities come with an ego temptation, though. The ego will want to use these abilities to glorify itself and make itself special. It is imperative on this journey that we stay alert to this pitfall, keep honest tabs on the spiritual ego, and continually place the Holy Spirit in charge. When we allow our psychic abilities to be repurposed, they become means through which we can further learn that we do not walk alone. Very good. I'd like to understand what the little ones is on that chapter from the course, that paragraph that we read. Do you know? It's the very last sentence, pretty much.
Okay, on the
That one.
okay, so let all his learning. Oh, let's just go and look. I can do that, and we
Okay.
can look at what it actually says. Because I do notice that a lot of time when people, post something in, whatever,
Mhm.
they pick and choose, what's going to be uh,
Mhm.
helpful to them.
Yeah.
Make their point. But let me look again
I
and
think it's
see.
25.
But okay, thank you. I
Yeah.
was gonna look. Okay.
25.
Um,
And then it's 1, and then 3 through 6.
okay. Let all his learning and all his efforts be directed toward this one great final surprise. So he's talking about surprises, and he will not be. So maybe the little ones that come up to us, these little openings that we
Oh,
have,
okay. Okay.
these uh, uh, these thoughts that suddenly I know something or I hear something or uh, yeah, whatever it is, that all seems to be really, really cool.
Mhm.
But he's saying there's a big surprise coming for us.
Mhm.
There's a point where we're going to have uh, and that's what I think is really amazing,
Mhm.
the glorious surprise of remembering who we are.
Mhm.
And in that glorious surprise of remembering who we are, uh, we will have a lot more. Uh, we will not, okay, so we won't have the barriers. Certainly, there are many psychic powers that are clearly in line with this course. Communication is not limited to the small range of channels the world recognizes, which we understand that all the communication that we have is really limited. If it were, there would be little point in trying to teach salvation. It would be impossible to do so. The limits the world places on communication are the chief barriers to direct experience
Mhm.
of the Holy Spirit, whose presence is always there and whose voice is available, but for the hearing. These limits are placed out of fear. So, for without them, the worlds that surround all the separate places of the world would fall at the holy sound of his voice,
Mhm.
which says to me, what I'm hearing here is that if we let go of all the barriers that we personally put in place
Mhm.
between us and that ability to communicate. And what are the barriers? The language barrier, the technology barrier, the just the limits of the body itself, that we can only hear certain frequencies. We can't hear each other's thoughts. We put up walls to keep out, because you think, well, these are all things that are helping us. But when we put up the language barrier,
Mhm.
which was huge walls that keep us from, right now I'm trying to learn how to speak Spanish. I'm like, this is hard,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I learned that. But then why not Chinese? Why not, Portuguese, Japanese? They're all barriers.
Yeah.
So those, what will happen apparently is that when we have the direct experience of the Holy Spirit, then those limits will no longer be there.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to actually communicate with each other without language. And that's what this seems like to me. And I think that's what this whole, like, clairvoyance, clairaudience, all that business is about, is to overcome those language barriers. and to be able to communicate uh, in a holy way. And
Yeah.
I think, there are some who have done that.
Mhm.
Uh, Jesus has done that.
Mhm.
I think, that anyone could speak to you in your mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't
Yeah.
know. Any thoughts about this? I'm sorry.
No, no. I'm just curious because when I read to be delayed, I says, and he will not be content to be delayed by the little ones that may come to him on the way. And I always think of little ones as little children. So I was trying to understand, see, limits, right? That's what I was trying to understand. But I think what they mean, or what it's saying, is that, um we read this again, who he is, remembering who we are, right? Let all his learning and all his efforts be directed toward this one great final surprise, and he will not be content to be delayed by the little ones that may come to him on the way. And those little ones are the little experiences that we may be having, right? Like the little tiny sparks of awakening, that or awareness, not necessarily awakening. It's like an awareness of who we are. Like you have those little sparks of moment, and those are the little ones. Am I, what do you think? Is that
Yeah,
sound?
that's what I think too. Yeah, that's what I think too. And what happens? Well, I mean, I've seen it happen over and over and over again. That someone will have an opening, they'll
Hmm.
have experience, and then they'll be like, "I'm awakened, I'm enlightened now,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
because and there's no more. I can't go. I mean, I literally had a man tell me that one
Mm.
time, and I said, what then beyond that? Oh, there's nothing beyond this. I had this experience and there's no more. Like, how could that be? You're still here. You know, I,
Yes.
there's more experiences for you.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Yeah.
people get that idea and then they stop searching. They
Yeah.
just think they made it. And
They,
there's a lot of teachers out there that, they may not say it, oh, I think I'm awake or enlightened, but
mhm.
they do think they've made it, and they think they can tell you how to get there. And there's if they're still here talking to you, then they probably haven't. They're
Yeah.
probably waiting too, but
Yeah.
not recognizing it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. It's funny because you do hear a lot of that. There's YouTube people that will say, my third eye just opened. I think I did it, and I can show you how to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know it.
Mm.
There unfortunately there's some Course in Miracles teachers that are kind of like that too. They
Mm.
kind of think they've got it. And there's a guy I listened to. His name is Luji, Luji. I think it's
Mhm.
anyway. It's not like Muji. It's a nickname that his nephew gave him when he was, because his name is Luigi or something, and
Mhm.
the kid can say Luigi, so he called him Luigi.
Mm.
So, um, so anyway, I listened to him yesterday, and he was saying, if these people are like, just like Ken Wapnick said, if someone comes to you and says, "I'm awake," run away, get away from them, because they are, they obviously could not be. But this guy Lucci was going off on Course in Miracles teachers who go out and set themselves up and get big communities, um, and there's a lot of them out there, and make money off of it. I mean, it's pretty crazy. But he was like, if they're telling you that they're awake and they can tell you how, you know, obviously they're not, because if they are, you'll know it, and you'll become awakened by being with them,
Mhm.
not by anything they say or do. And they definitely wouldn't ask you for money because they know they don't need it.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
uh,
It's
so
I don't know. That's just, I guess everything is an opportunity to make money. And I can tell you, I want to keep reading, but
yeah,
something came to mind as you were talking. Um, many, many years ago, I met through Facebook. I met a cousin, and she is basically, it's kind of hard to explain, but she's a descendant of my grandfather's sister's line. And she is, so it's my grandpa and his sister, then my mom and my aunt's son, then it's me and that son's son, and then it's her. So she's like one generation more than me. So I'm in Mexico, it's more like I'm her aunt, but we called ourselves cousins. And that was pretty amazing to find. Being she was living at the time, she's still married. They're still married, and he's an American, but they were living in Seattle. Yeah, somewhere in Seattle. So we met, and we were, I mean, we were having a great time talking, and kind of exposed her to a lot of things that I was in at the time. Um, and she just took off. She ran with it, basically, with a lot of it. And she used to tell me that she used to be very sad and a worried person, and it was almost like she was able to switch herself to to be in a better place. And this was before the course, and I kind of talked to her about the course after I started because I found it and all that. And she was not having it. She's like, she was really the word God to her gave her, it, she cringed because of her mom is, what are their religion? I don't know. They're Christians, but they're not Catholics, and they're not one of the,
Like Jehovah Witness or something?
something like that. Yeah, something like that. And so to her, it just felt very constraining. So the course obviously was not going to be a thing for her at that time. I don't know how she's doing these days because we kind of went our own ways after the political system that we're living in came about, and they had a different thought about things. Um,
Yeah.
so it was kind of like, to me, it was almost like I can't put I can't divide. No, what am I trying to say? To me, if I am who I am, like who I am right now, I'm presenting myself to you and to whoever's listening. I'm a Course in Miracles student. I believe in love. I believe in that everybody has the same rights, everybody, and I'm not excluding anybody. And I'm including the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, everything. Everything has the same love and position, I would say, with
Yeah.
with God.
And
Um,
and
and
God,
I
so it's
Yeah,
all God's creation.
all
I
of
am
God's creation, right? And so it's hard for me to understand the position of someone who calls themselves spiritual and loving and this and that, and then be able to follow that route. And I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to say that route. It's hard for me to see how can you meld both sides. So that was hard for me to do. And we still, say hi and happy birthday and stuff like that, but not like we used to, used to talk, because I feel like, okay, there's I'm not saying that I'm better or that she's better. I'm just saying that we're not at the same level right now. And it's I think our chance meeting had a purpose, and the purpose was fulfilled. And now we are growing,
yeah,
separately, but we are both growing in our own way. and she's just following the path that she needed to follow, and that's fine. And that's fine. But those are the things that are hard, that I think about with this, and thinking about others, the way we're
Yeah,
divided right now. I don't know. I'm trying to say it without saying anything wrong.
I
Um,
got this too, Zita. And you
yeah.
know what I do though that is really I've just come to understand that this is a win-win situation for
Mm,
me, no lose situation. When
yeah.
somebody asks me about my political point of view, I
Mhm,
say I am a Christian because I am. I believe in the Christ. I'm a
mhm,
Christian, and so if they say, "Well, what about this thing and that thing?" I don't know. What would Jesus think about that? What
mhm,
did Jesus say about that? Even if they just know the Bible.
mhm.
And like the Pope, have you seen these things the Pope is?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, yes, thank you,
Right.
Lord,
Yeah.
because yeah, he's like, no, this is not how Jesus. This is not Christian.
Mhm,
What you're doing is not Christian. And and there are a lot of Catholics who are like, well, I don't, the Pope is wrong. No, he's not.
mm,
Believe me. What would Jesus do? So anyway, that's I don't go into any of that argument. I just say I'm a Christian, and I think what Jesus would do in this situation. What do you think? He says, take care of the immigrant, take care of the widows and the children, take care. I mean, very clearly
mhm.
made a very clear point about all these things.
Yeah.
So I just refer back to him and say, yeah, well, that's what he said. So whatever your guy says, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my guy trumps that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Good answer. Thank you.
Uh,
Um, okay,
that's it.
so let's continue then.
All right, let me move on. I think we're on the next page.
Yes.
Uh,
Page
yeah,
21.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
So here's the crash course in the class. Did you want to read or do you want me to read?
My throat's kind of
Okay.
sore and weird.
Okay. I
Oh,
get you.
my.
I got it. I got it. No worries. So a crash course in the clairs. This brings us to the clairs. The clairs are pathways through which we receive intuitive guidance through our bodies, because the body is in the mind. Because the body is in the mind. I just want to repeat that because there's a lot of us that believed that that spirit is in the body. It's the other way around. Okay. As students of A Course in Miracles, we know that healing and communication are at the level of the mind. But it is easy to make the mistake of thinking that intuitive guidance arrives to us only through our heads. That's because we've unconsciously associated the mind with the head. As Course students, we know that the body is in the mind. The entire body is in the mind. So communication will come through channels that exist throughout the entire body. Enter in the clairs. The clairs are associated with various chakras throughout the body. They include clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, and clairsentience. These are pathways through which the Holy Spirit speaks to you. Clairvoyance and clairaudience have their home in the upper body chakras, while claircognizance and clairsentience have their home in the lower body chakras. By learning about your clairs, you can better pay attention to them, develop them, and have an easier time learning that you do not walk alone. The Holy Spirit, angels, and guides, such as Jesus, are always speaking to you, reminding you of who you truly are. let's dive into each Claire. Okay.
Wow, I love this. This whole topic of the body is in the mind, and
Mm,
we get so confused about that.
yeah.
Um, but just bringing it back to this is my mind. This is not this thing outside. This
Mhm.
is my mind. So I love this, and I'm really excited.
It's
Eh,
almost like you want to go back and just read this and make it sink in
yeah,
to
yep,
feel it, you know?
exactly. Well, we're going to get into each Claire, and I love also what she says here. The Holy Spirit, angels, and guides such as Jesus are always speaking to you, reminding you of who you truly are. A
Mhm.
lot of people do not really know how
Mhm.
often Jesus talks about angels. And of
Mm.
course, um, uh, 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 they don't even think to even call upon angels or to, when he says angels are all around. Let me look real quick here. I
Okay.
think this is um, this is pretty cool. To see how often or the things that Jesus says
Mhm.
um, about angels that we don't even think about. Chapter 19, your newborn purpose is nursed by angels, cherished by the Holy Spirit, and protected by God Himself.
Mm.
Um, let's see, there's that's kind of different. Around you, angels hover lovingly to keep away all darkened thoughts of sin and keep the light where it is entered in. Angels light the way so that all darkness vanishes, and you are standing in a light so bright and clear that you can understand all things you see. Look at that. Well, lesson 131 is talking about angels showing us everything so bright and clear that we understand everything we see. That is bypassing the language barrier. We are given the light and we can understand things. Anyway, I could go on and on
Yeah.
because all the times that Jesus talks about angels here, and why do we not think to call upon these angels? We think, oh, I'm a Course in Miracles student. You know, uh, what does that mean? It means that these things are real. They're not uh, fantasy, as I think a lot of people would think they were. A lot of people think that they're fantasy, and
Mhm.
they kind of are, but they're God's messengers.
Mhm.
So anyway,
They
I
are.
don't go on about angels, but it amazes me how people just don't even think about angels. And I mean, I collect angels. I'm like into angels a lot. So so
Yeah.
it's
I laugh because I have like I don't know if you're familiar with oh my gosh, now I'm gonna have to get up and look up the name. It's something oh, what is this called? Willow, yeah, willow tree. Are you familiar with those that company makes angels and
Mhm.
little figurines? You'll have to look it up, willow tree, and I'm just
Are they
fascinated by those for some reason.
like carved? They're kind of like little carved
They
angels.
look like they're carved, yes,
Yeah,
and they don't have faces, but
yeah,
they
they
have hair and they have wings. Some don't have wings because I don't know, for whatever reason, some don't. But I have them all over my altar, and I don't know, I've become a collector now. Not all of them, because there's some that I'm like they don't bring any meaning to me, but there are some that I'm like I really love. Like I'm right now I'm on the hunt for one that has the yellow flowers. They're just so pretty. That just
that
bring me joy just to see the yellow flowers. But anyway, yes, and that's why I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at you being having angels all over.
I love
It's
it.
like, we're the same.
We are the
Having
same.
angels. And you know what? There's an image that my mom always had, and I don't know where it comes from. I mean, it's very popular. It's all over whenever you look for that. It's an angel guarding two children, a girl and a boy, and they're crossing like a bridge, and it's like a blue background.
Your
And
guardian. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, like the guardian angel.
I grew
Uh,
up when I was a little kid.
yeah,
Picture
me
on my
too.
wall.
Yeah.
And I actually make guardian angels
Oh,
for family and friends when they have babies. And
uh,
what I do, this is, I go
uh,
go to the store, which is a great place, and they always have really beautiful frames.
uh,
So I get all these frames. They have gold on them and everything, and then I go and print up these angel pictures, and I'll put like that one of those quotes that I just was reading you from the course. I'll
mm,
print that on there, and then I'll mount it in the frame with I put like gold and silver decorative tape around it, so it looks like something from what they I don't even know
mm.
what the name of them are, but they make them
Hallmark?
in no like an old thing.
Oh,
That
yes. Okay.
it make it look like an old they're beautiful. I don't have any here at my son's house, or I'd show you. But then I make them your guardian angel, and that's one of my favorite images to print up
Yeah.
and use that angel with the children crossing the bridge,
Yeah.
uh, because yeah, it reminds little children that angels hover over them,
Hmm.
and that's a good thing for a child to know.
Yes. Yes.
Good
I
thing
agree.
for him to know.
It's always
So
good to feel that way, to feel, aside from your parents, that you have this other source of love and protection, that no matter what happens, that you're always okay.
yeah,
But it's yeah. Well, that's good. Now I learned something about you, and you learned something about me.
that's great. Oh, and I love those little angels. People have given me those as gifts a lot of times because
Oh,
I collect angels. So that's what if it's my birthday or something, it's easy.
nice.
So the angel and it'll make Lynn happy. So
Good. All right. So let's see. I think we can get through this, and oh yeah, we can get through this easily. Clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is clear seeing. It is the ability to see things beyond what the body's eyes see. This can take many forms, but typically involves the ability to see pictures, images, visions, and lights. It can be helpful to think of clairvoyance as existing on a continuum. On one end of the continuum, clairvoyance skills may include predicting the future, seeing things from the past or present, or giving psychic readings that involved receiving pictures and images. On the other end of the continuum, simply using your imagination is a building block of clairvoyance. When you practice seeing pictures in your mind, even if you can conjure them up yourself, you are exercising the ability to see things in your mind. If you're good at seeing the big picture of systems and organizations, this is also tapping into the building blocks of clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is not just about visions, it is the ability to be visionary. So, clairvoyance and A Course in Miracles. In A Course in Miracles, there is a direct reference to the clairvoyant experience of seeing edges of light around familiar objects. And this is in A Course in Miracles workbook, chapter 15. As we go along, it says, and this is from that chapter, this paragraph, as we go along, you may have many light episodes. They may take many different forms, some of them quite unexpected. Do not be afraid of them. They are signs that you are opening your eyes at last. And this is from the Course Workbook, Chapter 15, Paragraph 3, Sentence 1 through 4, I guess. In
yeah,
addition,
that's it.
That's it. Okay. In addition, the scribe of A Course in Miracles, Helen Schuckman, experienced powerful visions in the years prior to scribing the Course. And these are examples of clairvoyance. For example, Helen had multiple inner visions of a priestess from a past life. Autobiography, page 29. She also had an experience on the New York City subway of a light welling up within her mind while her eyes were closed, from which she felt indescribably intense love, and simultaneously saw a vision of herself at home in this love. Autobiography, page 24. Even after opening her eyes, Helen saw the light last an instant longer as she loved everyone on the subway despite initially finding the hot and crowded subway revolting. You can read about both experiences in Helen's autobiography, available through the Foundation for Inner Peace website. Helen also described her clairvoyant experience of seeing a church before she went on a trip to the Mayo Clinic, and Helen writes, "The evening before we left, a picture crossed my mind that was so sharp I felt impelled to describe it in writing. It was a picture of a church, the details of which stood out with startling clarity. I was uncertain of its denomination at first, but finally settled on Lutheran. I seemed to be looking down on it from above, at an angle at which I might be seeing it from a low-flying plane. The picture was so sharp that I abandoned caution entirely and told Bill I was sure we would see the building when we landed in Rochester, Minnesota the next day." And that's from her autobiography, page 37. It turned out that the church Helen saw was no longer standing. But while they were visiting the Mayo Clinic, Bill discovered through a guidebook that the Mayo Clinic had been built on top of the church's former site. The exact church that Helen saw clairvoyantly. Helen's experience is a form of remote viewing, which is mentioned below. While Helen's experiences are remarkable, they are not special. You have the same ability to experience things clairvoyantly as did Helen. While you might not see crystal clear pictures, there are many other indicators that you have clairvoyant abilities. Anything you would like to say? Because we can go on.
Yeah, it just is interesting again to me that uh, this is not something that's more emphasized in the course that people are not seeing. Yeah, all this coming through some out of this world um, experience, and I can have that experience too, which is something Helen always said. And that that reporter asked her, is this something that is just special to you or something? And she goes, no, anybody can do this. You can do it. Anybody can do it. You just have to just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, easier said than done. Anyway,
Yeah,
you have too, I'm sure.
I think we all do. It's just like I've been hearing from Sterling that I listen to, and I'll be listening to after we get off here, is that we need to, there's a practice that he does that he recommends that every day for like 2 weeks, I think he says. I can't remember, or 10 days, I don't remember. But he says, go in and spend 5 minutes, basically ask your spirit guides and your angels to come forth and tell them what you want. Like, I would like to communicate with you, and please show me the way, kind of thing. And then just sit there with your pen and paper, and whatever comes to mind, just start writing. Just start writing whatever comes to your mind. Because the more you allow that creative writing to come forth, you are opening yourself to not only your clairvoyance, but you're opening the rest of the clairs, the clairaudience. And he said that everybody's born with a stronger clairaudience because you can hear things. So anyway, so that, yeah,
Interesting.
it's one of those things that we all have.
Real quick, who is this you're talking about? Sterling?
Yes, Sterling. He's a psychic medium. Psychic
Is it
medium.
somebody on YouTube or
Yeah, he's on YouTube.
and it's just Sterling or is there any other
Just Sterling Psychic Medium. That's it. Yeah.
interest? We'll have to check
Mhm.
that.
So yeah, he talks about everybody's born with a birth angel that follows you throughout your life. And that birth angel is the one that protects you. If it's not your time to go, they're there to save you from whatever happens if it's not your time. But if it's your time, they are the ones who guide you back. They are the ones who are there with you when you leave this body to take you back to where you need to go. Um, and then if you suffered from trauma when you were a child, you have a trauma angel. You have a creative something something guide, and you have all kinds. So some people have a whole list because people will ask, what are my clairs? Who are my guides? You can't know their names because they don't really use names, but you'll know what they are there for. So that's pretty interesting. My next opportunity, I'm going to ask, who, what are my guides and angels? I'd like to know. Who are they? What do they do? What are they doing? That'd be fun to know.
Well, and if this Sterling guy can do it, you can do it too.
Of course, and that's what he says. Anybody can do it. You just need to practice. And his practice thing is just the 5 minutes every day. Sit with a pen and paper, call your guides and angels, call them. He says, I asked him, what did I just say? Call them forth. Yeah, call them in and tell them I'd like to work with you, please. I'd like to communicate with you because they're there. They're watching. They're waiting for you to open up to be able to work with you.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
So, and he says only 5 minutes a day and do it for, I think it's 2 weeks, but I can't remember what it is. But yeah, I'll look it up and I'll tell you next week. I'll
Very,
have to
very,
remember to do that.
I love it. Yeah, very
So,
interesting. Check that
do
out
we?
while I'm
Yeah.
memory.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do we have
But
time for the rest of it? What do you think?
uh, no, we have 7 minutes. I don't know how much
It's
more
a page
you.
and a half.
Um, yeah, we could. Oh, but you know what?
Uh-huh.
You save this for next week. There's
Sure.
one thing I want to do
Mhm.
was for people who are listening and want to read along with us,
Mhm.
you can go to Corinne's website, which is from anxietytolove.com. And there's a beautiful picture of this dear, dear being who is who has written this book and that book from Anxiety to Love.
Mhm.
But if you go to her website from anxietytolove.com, you can get an actual download of this book that we're reading. And so the Claire's for course students right here. And you can just click there and it will give you a free ebook and you can download it to your system and have it. So I just wanted to give props to Corinne for this beautiful website and this beautiful book. And I didn't want to forget to do that before we
Just love
conclude.
the cover, to tell you.
I
I
know
love the cover.
it's so pretty
Mm.
and just what does it say here? From the Course of Miracles. This is from the Robert Perry version. Actually, Jean Dixon was right in her emphasis on feet on the ground and fingertips in heaven. Although she was too literal for some, many people knew exactly what she meant. So her statement was the right miracle for them. That's something that Jesus told Helen.
Mhm.
So, and I don't, most people maybe were too young to know who Jean Dixon is.
Oh, I
to
know.
be,
I remember her. In Mexico, my mom used to buy these magazines. They were called Duda, which means doubt, and they would present all kinds of unexplained phenomena, and they were from past life to remembering, many, let's see, reincarnations and aliens or extraterrestrials and psychics and mediums. And she was one of the ones that they always kind of talked about of her predictions and this and that. So, yeah.
Yeah. And she
But
was pretty
oh, yeah.
that
Yes.
though, the 60s for sure. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
there was such a resurgence of this stuff. So,
Right.
uh,
Right.
so
Wonderful.
yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah, um, we can continue this next week
Hmm.
uh, and talk about having clairvoyant abilities.
Yeah. Signs you may have clairvoyant abilities. Or
Yeah,
let's maybe say signs that you're more, you have them, you're developed them
yeah, you do
a
have
little
them.
more. Because
Yeah,
that you have them. It's they're just that you're not aware per se.
yeah.
Um, One of the things that I wanted to ask is if you could share that website you were looking for. You were searching earlier for angels, the Course in Miracles.
The Course in Miracles. Sure.
Yeah, I may have
CIM.
that one. Yeah, because
Um,
that's pretty cool. I like that you can look for, you just type in a word and
right. Let me show you where this is.
okay,
ACIM.org, and it is the Foundation for Inner Peace,
okay,
which is the publisher of A Course in Miracles. If you go there,
uh-huh.
uh, here, like every day, the lesson is here. You can just
Yeah,
click on that and it'll take it to you. But if you go to this place called Read ACIM and click on entire ACIM web edition,
uh-huh.
you get the entire course.
Okay,
And you have the search function. You can look for anything
okay,
that any words that are in there, like angels,
yeah,
and type that in, and it'll show you where it is. And then also you have you can just go in here and if you want to see, what does it say in chapter 15 or whatever,
mhm,
just go there and click on it,
mhm.
and it's right here,
Okay,
and it's all searchable.
yeah,
And also, if you have it on your phone, you can actually hear the audio of it.
yeah,
Uh, and the workbook. This is very cool. Okay, let's just let's go to today's workbook lesson 285. Here, you can click here, and um, it will play the workbook lesson.
yeah.
I don't know why I'm not hearing it now, but it's probably because of
Okay,
the
yeah. Probably the Zoom meeting.
on Zoom. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
the greatest tool
Yeah. Here's
for
the search function. I love that.
yeah, that search function. A fellow named Felix Akala did this, and
Oh,
you could anything. You could look up joy, and it'll show every place, 396 results, every place in the course where it talks about joy,
yeah.
all the lessons, all the book, and yeah, it's a lovely, lovely thing to have.
Yes. And that must be new. I don't know. I mean, I think I have it on my phone and I saved it, but if you don't mind sharing that, I'd be grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just acim.org,
Okay. Okay. Got it.
and you
ACI.
just go there, and it's got everything. And also, what's beautiful here, so this is what Corinne was talking about. If you
Mhm.
come to this website and you go here, I think it's here. No, somewhere on this on
Mhm.
this site, it's yeah. Uh, maybe it's the Founders Memorial um, section. It has all the stories about all the different people that were involved in the uh, developing the course, and that's Judy Sketchwitchen, who just passed away. There she is with Ken Wapnick, or with Bill Thetford. And there she is with Helen Schuckman. But yeah, I think this is where the uh, what do you call it? The autobiographies that Corinne is talking about are
Mhm.
here. Oh, historic.
Um,
That's it. Uh, it's under Read ACIM, and it's the section called historical material.
okay.
And so it's got all about how the course came about, and then different stories about uh, different things. So
Mhm.
yeah, this is a beautiful. Look at how pretty it is.
Yes,
So
they've done a great job.
they have my friend Bruce Rawls worked on this as well, so I'm real happy about and real proud about him
Yeah.
too. At acim.org, man,
Okay.
place to be.
Oh,
All
50.
right, Zita,
All
uh,
right.
I think I'm going to go and see if anybody's. This is a cool thing about it's being here at my son's
Yeah.
is he has like it's like a little conic compound that we have.
Mhm.
There's like little buildings out behind his house, and so that's it's like a little house, a little it's very cool. I
Mhm.
have a place here. My youngest daughter has a place, a little caravan in the back, and um, so we all have our own little separate place to hang out.
Oh,
But
nice.
then I'll have to go in the house for food, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well,
it's cool.
that's
Great.
wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Lynn. I really appreciate you. I love you and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Zita, and I love you too, and I'm grateful for being your friend.
Me
And
too. I'm
we'll
so
see
grateful.
you next week. Bye, all. Bye,
All
Jorge.
right. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your